Why are your hormones out of whack? Why are your kids' hormones out of whack? There's something called endocrine disruptors, and they're all over the place. And so while I don't want to get paranoid about air pollution, something that you can't control, there's a lot of things we really can control. And what endocrine disruptors do is they affect fertility, they affect mood, they affect women's hormonal cycles as far as creating polycystic ovarian syndrome and endometriosis and sperm count in men. So very much affecting fertility, but remember, our sexual hormones are not just about making babies, they're also about how we feel about ourselves, our mental stability, our mood, energy, metabolism. They affect us in a lot of different ways. And further, these endocrine disruptors are related to the big three that are causing death for Americans, from diabetes, heart disease, cancer, and obesity. So they affect us in pretty much every way you would want them not to affect you. And so I want to just kind of go over some basics that we have to just start making steps, okay? So whether it's for you, for your children, steps to kind of get away from as many of these as we have control over. Now, we definitely have control over, to a degree, the water we drink. So reverse osmosis systems that you can put under your kitchen sink are not terribly expensive, very effective. You just have to remember to change the filter, but that's pretty easy, and that makes a huge difference. Plastics are everywhere, but you can choose to use your reverse osmosis system and put your water in a nice metal container. And so if the metal heats up, your water heats up, but that's very different than in a plastic container where it might heat up. We're in summer as I'm filming this, but it heats up, you leave it in the car, and all those chemicals from the plastic are now imbuing your water with endocrine disruptors. So stainless steel is your friend, plastic is not. Similarly, microwaving food, so you get foods. I very rarely go to a restaurant, but occasionally, historically, more than now, I would, and I wouldn't finish my meal, and I'd say, can I have a to-go container? And they'd put it in 100% plastic, and I'm like, okay, now I'm going to throw it out because the meal was still warm, and that heat, went, the plastic went into my food. So I try to ask for the paper, cardboard type of stuff when you're doing that sort of thing. But what about when you've gotten food to go and then you put it in plastic when you get home and it's still warm, or you heat it up in the microwave, so you had leftovers from dinner even in your own home, but you have a plastic container and then you're microwaving it. Once again, heat and plastic and food, not good bedfellows, so you really want to stay away from that. As far as our children are concerned, having children stay away from cosmetics at a young age. Also, the new thing that's come out is some of the athletic wear. I'm going to go through some of the chemicals here. Triclosan is something very interesting chemical. It's known to affect the thyroid, so it is in the category of an endocrine disruptor because the thyroid has so much to do with hormonal balance throughout the body and metabolism, etc. But triclosan is a chemical that was actually banned from soap because of the known endocrine disruptor ability, yet it's still in some toothpaste. So that's an easy thing. You can just Google your toothpaste or whatever search engine you like and find out if your particular brand of toothpaste has triclosan or not. I found that among some of the natural brands, some, they had maybe 6 different types of toothpaste, and one had it and one didn't, even under the more natural. So not hard to find, but a very worthwhile decision to make sure you're getting away from triclosan. So banned from soap, still in some toothpaste. It's also in things like yoga mats, but it's also in some athletic wear. And recently, one of the more famous brands of athletic wear was taken to task that the chemicals they use in their products, their yoga pants, shirts, etc., that make them don't stink. And if you think about it, and I have some of these products myself, and it didn't really dawn on me that they don't start to smell the way other cotton would smell. So what does that mean? These chemicals are coming out into your body because you sweat. They specifically were talking about women who work out in yoga pants and don't want to see a panty line, and so they work out with no underwear, and the chemicals coming off of that going into their vagina and creating upset in hormones. So that was kind of a new one, which made me think about getting rid of all my yoga pants and start getting back to the nice stinky cotton that you know when it's dirty. So these are things that it's like, it sounds cool, okay, it wicks the sweat and it doesn't smell, but yeah, but then what's happening inside you? So some decisions to make. Also, nonstick pans. There are some ceramic nonstick pans that don't have these dangerous chemicals, but a lot of the classic nonstick pans, so again, you have to do your due diligence on the type you have. As soon as they're scratched, as soon as somebody uses the wrong kind of utensil on them, uses instead of plastic, we'll get to that in a moment, versus a stainless steel, it's a scratch, and now those chemicals have come out. As long as there's no scratching and the surface is unmarred, then it's fine, but it's very easy for somebody to do the wrong thing. Then they say, cook your food with the plastic, but now you've got hot food with plastic again. So I'm not trying to overwhelm you. Just pick 3 things, that you can start doing yourself and making a difference. One of the big ones as far as women are concerned is antiperspirants. And I only say women because the aluminum in antiperspirants has been related to breast cancer, potentially, but there does seem to be a stronger link with that. Now, men using antiperspirants, aluminum is not good for anyone. It's particularly dangerous for brain health. So the thing about your skin is your skin eats whatever you put on it. So if you're putting an aluminum product on it, it's being ingested by your skin. And again, for women with these antiperspirants, find a natural deodorant. And I've done this. So okay, you might be a little damp. Okay, it's all right. Maybe men might wear an undershirt. There is women can do different things. You're going to have to decide. But I stopped using antiperspirant very long time ago. The deodorant aspect is still there, so you're not stinky with the natural products, but the prevention of sweat is something that that's what you want to avoid because of the aluminum. And by the way, when it comes to smell, let's talk about that. Sweating is very normal. Really foul smelling sweat is indicative of you being toxic. So being able to know what your sweat smells like is a good indicator of your health and something that needs to be done to improve your health. I recently was doing a bit of a detox, and sure enough, all of a sudden I was like, it's like, that smells bad. Okay, I thought I was detoxing, and indeed I am. So the human body tells you things that are kind of important, and if you have an aluminum containing antiperspirant, not even aware of these things. So what else did I want to go over with you? Household cleaners. There's a lot of great, more natural cleaners. So you want to just see as many things as you can. We had a little issue with our dishwasher, and I tried various things because I think it had kind of built up some calcium, and sure enough, guess what worked? White vinegar and baking soda. That's what worked. So you can go online and find a whole host of uses. On Instagram, there are channels that just talk about natural ways to clean things, and again and again and again you're hearing about white vinegar and you're hearing about baking soda, and neither of those are endocrine disruptors. So have some fun with it. Boy, it'll save you a lot of money, and it's extremely effective at cleansing, taking the smell out of towels. If your towels start to smell a little bit, I feel like I'm turning into a home cleaning channel. I'm not. I'm talking about endocrine disruptors because the problem is our fertility levels are going down, our anxiety and depression is going up, our kids are more anxious than ever, and this link is very important to understand. Okay, so that's why I'm doing this. Oh, microwave popcorn, no, just stay away from that. Loaded with chemicals. And yeah, that was mostly what I wanted to tell you about. But if you're stuck with hormonal imbalance, there's too much talk about, oh, that's just the way you are. You're a stressed person. You're an anxious person. There's a lot of tools that can be used to get to the root cause of why your hormones are out of balance, fertility is out of balance, mood swings, anxiety, depression. There's a lot of root cause basics that can cause your body to be producing these symptoms, and it's not because you're destined to be that way. It was in your family. There's a lot of things in my family that I don't have just because I've worked harder to compensate for them. Genetics, interestingly enough, is less strong for most diseases and syndromes than you would think. We talked about Alzheimer's yesterday. 6 to 8% is genetic. Okay, that leaves 94 to 92% that's not. So the majority is diet and lifestyle. We can do a lot for ourselves. We can do a lot for our children. And I hope this was helpful. We'll talk soon. I hope you found this video helpful. If you want more on this topic and others, click here.